When the results were announced on the finale night of America's Got Talent Season 20, Jourdan Blue stood under the bright stage lights and heard his name called for third place. For a moment, it felt like silence filled the room. Some of his fans cried out that he deserved more. Others clapped and shouted his name with pride. Jourdan himself smiled through the sting, but in his eyes there was a mix of sadness and gratitude. The truth is, finishing as second runner-up was both heartbreaking and beautiful. Because while he didn't win the title, he had already won the hearts of millions. And his story, his voice, his pain, and his hope will be remembered long after the season ends. Jourdan's journey to that stage was not an easy one. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, he grew up surrounded by church music and theater. As a child, he loved to perform, and for a while it looked like he was headed for a bright future. But life had other plans. In his teenage years, Jourdan fell into addiction. By the age of 16, he was homeless, bouncing between friends' couches and even spending nights in bathrooms just to have shelter. His family life was fractured, and survival became a daily fight. Then, at 18, he suffered a near-fatal overdose. That terrifying moment shook him to the core. He later said it was his turning point, the moment he decided to fight for his life. Jourdan quit substances cold turkey and began walking a harder but cleaner road. His grandfather stepped in to help guide him, becoming a steady hand during his darkest hours. Even after leaving addiction behind, Jourdan's life wasn't simple. To survive, he turned to the streets. He began singing on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, pouring his heart into songs for strangers passing by. Night after night, he stood on street corners, sometimes earning a few dollars, sometimes being told by police to pack up and move on. Still, he kept singing. Music wasn't just his way to make money, it was his therapy, his lifeline, and his way of keeping hope alive. Alongside the struggle, he was building a small family of his own. He and his girlfriend welcomed a son, Jax, and Jourdan's drive to provide for them grew even stronger. Every note he sang on those streets carried not just his pain, but his love for his family and his dream of giving them a better life. But tragedy never seemed far away. On January 1st, 2025, a terror attack took place right on the block where Jourdan often performed. The horror of that night pushed him to think harder about his future. He realized life could change in an instant, and if he truly wanted to share his gift with the world, he had to take bigger risks. Interestingly, America's Got Talent wasn't the first time Jourdan tried his hand at a big stage. During the pandemic, a friend secretly submitted one of his singing videos to the producers of American Idol. He auditioned over Zoom, made it through several rounds, and reached the showstopper stage, which is around the top 60 contestants. But his performances were never shown on TV, and his journey ended before America could discover him. That disappointment could have crushed him. Instead, it lit a fire. Jourdan quit his regular job and committed fully to chasing music. It was a leap of faith, and a dangerous one, but it's a leap that would eventually land him on the biggest talent stage in the world. When Jourdan walked onto the stage of America's Got Talent in 2025, his story was already written in his voice. He introduced himself to the judges and shared pieces of his past, the addiction, the homelessness, the street performances, and his dream of giving his son a better life. Then he began to sing Break Even by the script. From the first line, the room went silent. His voice was raw, filled with both power and vulnerability. By the end, the crowd was on their feet, and Howie Mandel slammed his hand down on the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained down as Jourdan fell to his knees in tears. For someone who had spent years singing for pennies on the streets, this was the moment he had always dreamed of. The golden buzzer sent him straight to the live shows, but the road ahead was not without obstacles. In the quarterfinals, Jourdan chose Biblical by Callum Scott. What no one in the audience knew at first was that backstage he had been violently sick, throwing up again and again. Most people would have pulled out, but Jourdan refused. He walked on stage pale and weak, and still delivered a performance that brought people to tears. Simon Cowell told him he had done incredibly well under the circumstances, and the other judges praised his determination. That night, Jourdan proved he wasn't just a voice, he was a fighter. By the semifinals, Jourdan had grown more confident. He sang Stargazing by Miles Smith, delivering a performance filled with raw emotion and heartfelt expression. The judges praised his unique style and stage presence, calling him one of a kind, and fans continued to connect deeply with his story. His authenticity and vocal power helped him advance to the finals, even as the competition grew fiercer. Then came the finale, bringing Jourdan back one more time. and he performed an epic rendition of Golden from the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack, transforming it into a high-energy showcase of his vocal power. The stage was alive with excitement as other finalists performed, including Chris Turner, Jessica Sanchez, Leo High School Choir, Lightwire, Mama Duke, Micah Palace, Circa Maria, Steve Ray Ladson, and Team Recycled. Guest stars like Manuel Turizo, Alu Black, Leona Lewis, Ciara, and alumni magicians Shin Lim, Matt Franco, and Piff the Magic Dragon also performed and collaborated with finalists throughout the night. One of the most memorable moments for Jourdan was his duet with Danny O'Donoghue of The Script, performing Break Even in a heartfelt rendition that blended Jourdan's emotion with O'Donoghue's rock edge, leaving the audience cheering. The results show the next night was just as thrilling. The top 10 opened with a celebratory Happy 20th Birthday performance, followed by duets, guest performances, and magic acts. As the show moved toward the top 5 acts were eliminated: Mama Duke, Circa Maria, Steve Ray Ladson, Micah Palace, and Team Recycled. Lightwire placed 5th, the Leo High School Choir 4th, and then the moment came. Jourdan Blue was announced as 3rd place. Chris Turner was named runner-up, and Jessica Sanchez, a returning contestant from Season 1, was crowned the winner. For Jourdan, it was bittersweet. The prize money wasn't his, the title wasn't his, but something else was. He had built a fan base, gained worldwide recognition, and shown his son that dreams are worth chasing. What he got after AGT may not have been a trophy, but it was life-changing. His Golden Buzzer audition went viral, and his social media following exploded. He now has fans across the globe who want to hear his music. More importantly, he caught the attention of Danny O'Donoghue, the lead singer of The Script, the very band whose song he sang in his audition. During the finale, Danny offered to take Jourdan on tour, a full-circle moment that not many contestants ever get to experience. For Jourdan, that opportunity is worth far more than a single check. It means bigger audiences, bigger stages, and a real career in music. Since AGT, Jourdan has been working on original songs and planning the next steps in his journey. He has dreams of recording albums, touring internationally, and giving back to the community that raised him. For his girlfriend and son, it means a chance at stability and comfort. For his fans, it means more music filled with the honesty and passion that made them fall in love with him in the first place. Jourdan Blue's story is powerful because it is real. He is not polished or perfect. He is a man who has lived through darkness, fought to stay alive, and used music as his lifeline. When he sings, you don't just hear notes. You hear his history, his pain, his hope, and his love for his son. That authenticity is what makes him unforgettable. 3rd place may not have been the result he dreamed of, but in many ways, it was the perfect ending to his AGT story. Jourdan showed that success isn't always about winning a title. Sometimes it's about finding your voice, sharing it with the world, and proving to yourself and your family that you can rise above the past. For Jourdan, AGT was not the end of his journey. It was the beginning of a new chapter. And as he steps off that stage and into the future, one thing is clear: the world is listening, and Jourdan Blue is just getting started.